This is their God. Tell them what to do, how to live, who to love.
So many biblical themes in Westworld Season 3, Episode 5. The all-seeing, all-knowing God, Solomon, after King Solomon. And then the new version in the present, being called Rehoboam, Rehoboam, both from the Bible. What does it all mean? Well, stick around for this episode review to find out, and I'll also put out some bold predictions later in the video based on these biblical characters who have been the inspiration for this AI. Hi everybody! Once again we have a great Westworld Season 3 episode with Delores, Season 3, Episode 5. If this is your first time in this channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you've been here many times before, then check out our podcast. The links are in the description.
Alors, nous sommes venus dans le nouveau monde avec un objectif. Créer un Dieu.
According to scripture, it's not man that created God, it's God that created man. So Solomon and then Rehoboam, they are not God. It's Cerrac. Even though God rested on the seventh day after creating the world, the work wasn't done. God wasn't always happy with the world he has created and with the people who populated it. The fight between Delores and Cerrac is not a battle of the titans. It's a war between two gods. Cerrac has all the information of all the humans out there, as far back as he can get data, while Delores, she's a living, breathing AI with first-hand experience of humans, interacting with them, not just studying them, and with her own agenda.
It's time everyone woke up.
Unlike Cerrac's AI, in this episode, Delores gets the upper hand, throwing curveball after curveball to the unsuspecting Cerrac, who has no way to project or predict what his rival AI will do, because he doesn't follow the same patterns as humans. The best part of the episode, maybe the best part of the season so far, comes when Delores lets everybody know what their projected future is going to be according to Rehoboam's calculations. When they'll die, how their relationships will fare, when their loved ones will be snatched away. What can a person do with such information? Apparently, it's too much to handle. And since we're all gonna die eventually, we don't need Rehoboam for that, the bottom line of the news of what's going to happen to us is always going to be tragic, grim, sad, and will put us out of sorts, even if you die at the age of 97 in your own bed at night. The AI's strength, biggest strength, predicting the future, becomes a weakness when those predictions leak out to everybody.
She's sending them off their loops.
So Cerrac, up there in the sky, above the clouds, like a god, making apparitions wherever he wants, seeing his followers, he's a god. A god whose formative experience has been seeing a city blown up because of human folly, aggression, and unpredictability. There's always this tension with God's plan. In Judaism, there's a saying that everything is predetermined, but you have a choice. Basically, religious scholars try to have it both ways. God controls everything, makes all the decisions for us, because he's the wisest, he knows everything. He works in mysterious ways. But at the same time, we have free will to make our own decision. This has been a recurring theme in Westworld from the very beginning. Do the robots have a choice? Do humans, stuck in their loops and preconceptions and falling prey to more sophisticated and cruel humans, do they have a choice? Did the Men in Black have a choice?
It's amusing that you think you chose to kill your own daughter. You don't even have a choice in your own grief.
When Cerrac's AI, first AI,
Solomon.
can predict the future for every single person, and then make monumental policy decisions according to these predictions. Where is our choice? What Delores does is put a wrench in the whole system in a very well-written way. She tells people what's going to happen to them. Because the moment they know, and they all know at the same time, then they become unpredictable. No human can go on in life, stay in their lane, when they know when they'll get fired? How will their spouse betray their trust? What kind of illness will they succumb to? So businessmen walk into the scene in the middle of a workday. Regular people start to vandalize and riot. Perfectly happy couples begin to falter. And there isn't enough information in the world out there to be able to predict how will humans behave once they know their destiny. That destiny, unlike in Greek tragedies a la Oedipus, instantly becomes null and void. Because if you know your daughter will take her own life in a few years, then you can and will change your life in such a way so that that doesn't happen. But we're getting nearer to my bold prediction. We can now safely predict how Rehoboam will react to this civil unrest based on the information that we have from the Bible about the character of Rehoboam. Obviously, that name wasn't picked by accident. And the fact that this AI, Rehoboam, succeeds the previous AI of Solomon is very, very telling. King Solomon was the father of Rehoboam in the Bible. Solomon was considered the wisest man alive, but he was the last king of the united Israelite kingdom. So, bold prediction. Humanity is going to split into two in Westworld. That's according to the sources. The lines, though, will not be humans versus robots, as there are humans and robots on both sides of this conflict. This is Solomon's plea to God. So give your servant a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong. For who is able to govern this great people of yours? I will do as you have asked. I will give you a wise and discerning heart, so that there will never be anyone like you, nor will there ever be. King Solomon was a poet, a philosopher, a seeker of justice. In the very famous Solomon trial, called in English the Judgment of Solomon, he is able to predict how two women will act. Two women are brought to him, claiming that a certain child is theirs and that the other woman's child is dead. How can you tell? No DNA tests back then. So, in an archetypical example of impartial justice, King Solomon commands to cut the baby in half and give each of the women her own half. One of those women accepts, while the other begs the king to give the baby to the other woman, thus showing that she loves the baby and is willing to let it go, rather than to see it killed. While the other woman says, okay, so neither of us will have a child. So we can extrapolate from that the first version of this AI, Solomon, was about justice. When all Israel heard the verdict the king has given, they held the king in awe because they saw that he had wisdom from God to administer justice. But there was simmering discontent under Solomon, who after 40 years was replaced by Rehoboam. With Rehoboam's ascension, he had to make quick decisions as to how to rule. I discussed that a bit in the review of Westworld Season 3, Episode 1, but let me elaborate on that here. Once Rehoboam took over, he needed to quell the civil unrest. The people asked him for a more lenient hand. Your father put a heavy yoke on us, but now lighten the harsh labor and the heavy yoke he put on us, and we will serve you. Rehoboam's elder advisors told him that if today you will be a servant to these people and serve them and give them a favorable answer, they will always be your servants. But I expect Cerrac and Rehoboam, Westworld's Rehoboam, to not heed any of the calls to rule humanity more leniently.
I would sacrifice much more to protect my kind.
Nah, he will double down. He will become even harsher, because this is the main characteristic of Rehoboam from the Bible. And now, whereas my father did lade you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father hath chastised you with whips, I will scourge you with scorpions. And from that fateful day the kingdom was split, as Rehoboam was unable to collect taxes and enforce the law with his heavy hand. And maybe there's another bold prediction that we can extrapolate from the Bible. Rehoboam wanted to go on and unite the kingdom through war, but God Cerrac maybe, said no. Everyone needs to go back home rather than fight brother with brother. Okay, so that's it for now. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you patrons for supporting the channel. If you're still here, then I have a little announcement. I'm gonna bring back soon, after the season maybe of Westworld, maybe before, I'm not sure, the rereading videos of A Song of Ice and Fire that I used to do. So hit subscribe to get those, and again, check out our podcast. The links are in the description. Loads of great content every week, every Monday. Thank you everybody for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.